Good morning, this is Onyabike Adventures. My name's Hawk, and today we've come to the deserts of Rajasthan, India to test ride the brand new Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. So this is the brand new Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, but it's not available in Vietnam yet. So that's why I've flown to Rajasthan, to the city of Jaipur in India, to get a ride on this, have a look at it, and let you guys know what I think of it. In Vietnam, Onyabike Adventures use the original 411 Himalayan for all of our tours. We genuinely believe it's the best bike currently available in Vietnam for the conditions that we have over there. This isn't available yet. Is it better? That's the question. It certainly looks different, but what have they actually done? I guess the most important thing to talk about is the engine. This is a single-cylinder, water-cooled 450cc. Now, actually, we've gone from 411cc up to 452cc, but more importantly, we've gone from 24 horsepower up to 40 horsepower. That's a significant change. And obviously, a liquid-cooled engine over an air-cooled engine. So the performance should be a lot better. I'll let you know when I go out for a ride later on. So we'll start at the front end here. The front wheel is still 21 inches, 50-50 on-road, off-road comes as standard. So the front wheel not really much different, but we've now got upside down forks, which have got a 200mm travel. That's pretty cool. Down the back, we've got a rear monoshock, and that's got a 200m travel as well. So we've got some pretty decent suspension. The rear shock does have a 7-stage adjustable. Probably not going to get a chance to play with that today, but that should be pretty cool for different weighted people, different terrains. The ground clearance is up a little bit. You've got an extra 10 centimeters of ground clearance, up to 230 millimeters now from 220. Not major changes. Now at the front here, this nice wide fuel tank holds 17 litres. The previous Himalayan only 15, which is still quite a lot, but 17 on this. You're going to be able to travel all day, not needing to worry about fuel, that's for sure. Now, even though this is a slightly bigger bike, it's actually a kilogram or two lighter. So 181 dry weight and 199 curb weight. Still a little bit heavier than like your basic off-road bike, but certainly light enough for most guys to handle. Now, here's the thing about this bike. The seat height, according to Royal Enfield, is 825, but it doesn't feel it. When I get on this bike, the way the suspension drops, it actually feels lower than the standard Himalayan 411, which is 800 millimeters, 80 centimeters. This seat, 825 as standard. The great thing is, though, this is an adjustable seat. You can raise this by 20 centimeters up, 845 being the maximum seat height you can reach in the standard seat. So if you're a taller guy and you want a higher seat, you can actually take the seat off, adjust it up, and up to 845, down to 825. If you're shorter, you can actually buy a lowered seat, which brings you back down to 800 as well. Now, the brake-in is still single disc at the front and back, but the disc's a little bit bigger than on the previous version. You have got ABS front and back, and it is switchable. You can turn the ABS off when you want to go off-roading and get a bit of a slide on the back wheel. You've actually got two modes of performance. You've got economy or normal, or economy or sport, I think they call it. And each of those modes can be with the ABS on or off, and you can actually access that fairly simply through some little buttons on the handlebars, although you have to stop or you can switch. Now, some other little nice features. You've got this beautiful new LED dashboard that's really pretty nice. You can play around with it a bit. And one of the amazing features is you can connect it to your phone through the Royal Enfield app and actually follow maps which are powered by Google Maps on this screen, which is pretty cool. You've got a USB charging port down here, which is useful if you want to charge your phone. Down the front here, another nice feature, you've got this LED light as standard. Now at the front end here, you'll see you've got a 3/4 screen. The full screen is an optional extra, which might be a good idea for touring. Maybe we'll do that for our bikes once we get these. So there you go, this bike looks pretty good, got a load of good features. What we need to do now is see if it's any good, either in the city traffic, and Jaipur's the place for that, and we're going to go and play out in the desert and see how it handles the off-road. So, time for me to shut up and get on your bike. Well, we are going to have to get out of Jaipur city before we can get to the off-road, so this is a great opportunity to see how this bike handles in busy traffic. There's 4.5 million people live in Jaipur, or maybe more than that, and there's every type of traffic you can imagine. We've got bicycles, we've got rickshaws, motorbikes, scooters, we've got horses, elephants, camels, trucks, buses, cars, and everything you can imagine, and none of it is obeying any of the road laws. This is Asia's craziest traffic at its best. I'll be honest, the bike handles really nicely. It's very maneuverable as we weave in and out, which we're doing constantly, and the brakes are being used a hell of a lot because people just seem to want to swerve in front of you at the last minute for fun. But yeah, it's going through this traffic pretty well. Hectic, busy, a lot of fun, but this bike's doing okay. And as we get out of the city and onto the open roads, really liking how this bike handles. On the nice twisty bends, I feel like the bike's responsiveness is next level. I mean, obviously I ride the 411 Himalayan every day, so that is what I'm really comparing it to, and it is in a different league altogether. The comparison is remarkable. So I've got a bit of highway here. I guess it's only right to see how fast this bike is. We've got 40 horsepower. What does it give us? So off we go. That's easily moving up to 100 kilometers. Let's push it a little bit more. 110, 120. Ooh, 130. Now, that's about as fast as I ever want to go in Asia, particularly in India. Let's back it off. So this bike's certainly fast enough for Vietnam and India. Wow, I'm loving how this bike feels on these turns. This is fantastic. The bike is basically glued to the road and I can power out of these corners with ease. The way the bike is balanced, when I hit the brakes, it just seems to stop smoothly. I'm not getting thrown forward. It's a pleasure. Okay, we're out and we're in the desert. Let's see how this bike handles on the off-road, which is of course what we all want it for. This feels great. I am bouncing over these rocks, no problem. There's really no comparison. The Himalayan 411 is a great bike for off-road, but it is nothing on this new bike. This is a much better ride. I feel like I can go over any terrain. Let's see how this handles in the deep sand. Damn, that's pretty good. Obviously it's a little bit heavy and the tyres I've got on are not the best. I would want some proper knobblies out of choice, but I'm getting through this desert and I'm staying upright and I'm not having to put my feet down too many times. This is fantastic. Wow, that was great. So, what do we think of this bike? Honestly, I'm blown away. This bike is so good compared to the previous Himalayan. And that's from a guy that loves the 411 Himalayan. I ride that bike every day. We go all over Vietnam and I have no complaints about it. But this just takes it to another level.
But I do have some questions. The rear suspension is very soft and I wonder how this bike will handle with two people. It did drop a lot when I sit on it and it does feel soft. Didn't get it to bottom out today, but maybe two up it will have problems.
I don't like the fact that it comes with this small screen, and you have to buy an adventure screen if you want a proper screen. I mean, most people who buy these are going to be using it for touring. Feel like a touring screen should be standard. I don't like the fact that the bash plate is so small, and I don't like the fact that the luggage rack is so small, although again you can buy side panniers and things like that. In terms of performance though, I really have to say it's exceeded what I expected. Overall, a fantastic bike. I can't wait for these to come out in Vietnam. Obviously I've only ridden it for one day, but I'm blown away. Great bike. Wow, that was great. What a ride. Well guys, that's all we've got time for today. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. Now if you want to know more about Vietnam or India, if you love motorbikes or you just need to see more of me, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with all of our videos. Now it's time for me to shut up and get on your bike.